It hurts me to make this video because this is a video I did not want to do. And that video is Ja Morant's stupidity. You guys know that Ja Morant has had a very turbulent year this year, right? In early January, Ja Morant was almost suspended because we found out that he threatened some of the players on the Indiana Pacers after a game in which allegedly him and a companion of his friend, went around within the building to the Indiana Pacers bus, team bus, where they sat in a car and started pointing a gun that had a laser at the bus, threatening NBA players. Now, you and I know that is the stupidest thing anyone can do, right? And at the time, we thought that was just a allegation, no proof, you know, we didn't know Ja Morant could potentially have a problem. And at this time, Nike had just announced that they were going to drop Kyrie Irving in favor of Ja Morant as the future. And to me, while a lot of people hated that move, it made sense, right? Kyrie Irving has been in the league more than 10 years. Kyrie Irving did have his bouts of controversy. And here was this young, fresh point guard that was explosive, that was high-flying, that was captivating. Of course, it's a no-brainer that Nike would choose Ja Morant over Kyrie Irving. But when that story came out, it looked really bad for him, but Nike stuck by him. Fast forward to a month after that, we came to find out that Ja Morant beat up a 17-year-old boy in July of 2022 over a game of basketball. It looked really bad for Ja Morant. Here's the superstar NBA with everything to lose, and he's beating up a 17-year-old who can sue him? And we thought, okay, well, it couldn't get bad from there. And we were surprised. Fast forward another 2 months, and what happens? We come to find out that Ja Morant potentially took a gun all the way to Denver, and he was investigated for that. He got suspended 8 games. You guys remember that? Just a few months ago, Ja Morant was suspended 8 games due to having a gun on him, and it surfaced. Everyone wanted to know about it, and there were those people that were saying Ja Morant has the right to a gun, right? Which he does. The Second Amendment of the United States says that Ja Morant has the right to own and bear arms. But NBA protocols say you cannot have a gun on NBA premises. That means in the arena, at practice facilities, on team buses, or team planes. People were wondering, how did the gun that Ja Morant was seen with get from Memphis, Tennessee to Denver, Colorado? Now, Ja Morant came out and he said it wasn't his gun. In my opinion, I think it was, obviously, and I think it was just damage control. He got off with an 8-game suspension. He did the whole apology tour, right? He went on ESPN with Jalen Rose. You guys remember that documentary? He said he was wrong. He's gonna try and do better in the future, and that he's learned the error of his ways. And we thought we could believe Ja Morant because why wouldn't we? Ja Morant is a young 23-year-old. Everything to lose. He signed a $200 million contract with Nike. He signed a $200 million contract with the Memphis Grizzlies. His team is really good in the Western Conference. Everything that Ja Morant could have ever wished for as a kid playing basketball, all the successes that comes with playing basketball, the epitome, the shoe contract, the endorsements, the max deal, being picked as a number 2 overall draft, it all came to Ja Morant. And we thought when he made that apology, when he got up on TV and he said, I'm never going to do this again, we thought, okay, we could believe him because we wouldn't do that. It's stupid that you're an NBA superstar trying to be gangster. And that's a problem that Ja Morant has. He's trying to be a wannabe tough guy. As hard as that is to believe, Ja Morant acts as if he wants to get out of the NBA and make it to the hood. And it boggles my mind. And then there were the photos that surfaced of Ja Morant in a strip club, shirtless, with a girl twerking on him. Many will say that's his right to do so, and it is his right, but you cannot have pictures of you at the strip club leak to the media. Why? Because Ja Morant, you cease to be representing yourself when you sign those $200 million contracts with Nike and the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant now was representing the Grizzlies and Nike. So his brand or his image that was out there, if it was negative, it reflects negatively on the people that chose him to be with the Memphis Grizzlies. It reflects negatively on the people that did business. A mature, smart person would understand this concept and be like, I can't have pictures like that come out. Like, I'm not saying don't go to strip clubs, but make sure, listen, I don't want any pictures like this coming out of me in there. right? That's what a lot of people didn't understand, that Ja Morant just wasn't representing himself anymore. And so we thought the debacle before the playoffs was going to end, right? And then there were also other problems with Ja Morant on the court. Ja Morant, his team, the Memphis Grizzlies, got knocked out of the playoffs, and it was to everybody's delight. Why? Because Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies have been acting very juvenile, very immature, and they're talking trash to teams they have no business talking trash to. They're acting as if they've won everything. They haven't. He's saying he's better than Michael Jordan. He's not. And so when Ja Morant's team was knocked out of the playoffs, I got the feeling around on social media that everybody wanted this to happen because they were wanting to see Ja Morant humbled. They don't want to see Ja Morant win anymore because they put a lot of stock into Ja Morant and he started to disappoint them. Whether it was on a court, acting as if you're the big tough guy, you've won everything, but you haven't, or just outside of the court where these stories are coming out. And you're like, whoa, Ja Morant isn't the guy I thought he was, right? Wait, Ja Morant's going on live and playing NBA Youngboy and flashing guns? What? You know what I mean? So it was kind of, everyone was kind of like, you know what? Good riddance that the Memphis Grizzlies got out of here. And so we thought that would die down for a bit, but it hasn't even been 2 weeks since Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies got eliminated from the playoffs. And guess what? A video surfaces on May 14th, today, Sunday morning, of Ja Morant live with one of his buddies bumping NBA Youngboy and flashing a gun. You would think that's the last thing Ja Morant would get involved in. You're the last person on earth that should be flashing a gun. You have the right to own a gun. No one's saying you can't. You can own a gun privately, but your brand is intrinsically tied to other brands, and you being portrayed in a negative light could harm those deals, that money you have coming in. And you think Ja Morant will learn that? Coming from a two-parent household, his parents would tell him, listen, smarten up. But Ja Morant, I think, is a phenomenon in which the hood life that's promoted through rap captivates or entraps young black men in America who want to live that life. What do I mean by this? Ja Morant came from a two-parent household, went to a private school, had no problems growing up, had food on the table, roof over his head, had time to go to all the AAU practices and teams and pay all the fees. He had everything that you could want growing up as a basketball player, but he didn't have that excitement that came with being in a gang, that came with having shootouts, running from the police. And he heard that through rap music, particularly NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy is a rapper, and mind you, NBA Youngboy is the exact same age as Ja Morant. They're both 23, but Ja Morant seems to look up to this guy because in every video I see of Ja Morant, he's either grittying to NBA Youngboy, he's in a club, vibing out to NBA Youngboy, he's on Instagram Live, singing to NBA Youngboy, waving guns. Ja Morant, even though he's made it to the epitome of what we want, success, money, fame, the girls, everything, Ja Morant is still itching for that excitement that comes with being a hood dude. And so you can take the boy out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the boy. And that is so sad and so detrimental because there are millions of black men in America that do exactly what Ja Morant do. All their priorities are wrong. They're more concerned about the hood and doing nonsense, doing stuff that's not going to get them anywhere in life, instead of going out, go to school, taking care of their family, looking out for others, building a community. He's not into that. Even though he's got millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, all the fame, all the shoe deals, he wants to do the hoodlum, ludicrous stuff that he does. And it's so sad because this promulgates through American youth, American black youth in particular. Ja Morant, it was announced that he has been suspended from all NBA activities with the Memphis Grizzlies pending further investigation. And Adrian Wojnarowski, the famous reporter for the NBA, reported that the NBA is going to give a lengthy suspension. I think 20-game suspension should be for Ja Morant because he needs to learn, because the last time 8 games wasn't good enough for him. So he needs to learn. So that's my thoughts on Ja Morant. And Ja Morant just isn't a serious person. If you like this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a like underneath this video. And until next time, kids.